Running in front of the flights today are the Commander of Air Force Basic Training, Colonel William Fisher, the Deputy Commander of Air Force Basic Training, Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Fuller, the Superintendent of Air Force Basic Training, Chief Master Sergeant Richard Sutherland, the Vice Commander, Air National Guard Readiness Center, and Commander, 201st Mission Support Squadron, Joint Base Andrews, Maryland, Colonel Christopher Finnerty. Holding the United States flag and Air Force flag are this week's top PT athletes. Airman Basic Christine Traffalet from the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 150. And Airman Basic Joshua Myers from the 322nd Training Squadron, Flight 158. Also selected to run in front of the formation are additional airmen who represent Basic Training's top fitness achievement level, the Warhawk. Following the commander of this week's graduating flights, the flights are named after the different airmen who left a lasting impact on the enlisted corps and the United States Air Force. Running with the flights are the commanders, first sergeants, flight commanders, and MTIs who help mold the flights you see in front of you. The first flight you will see representing the 6th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, McCoy Flight. Following McCoy Flight, representing the 7th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Andrews Flight. Following Andrews Flight, representing the 8th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Parrish Flight. Following Parrish Flight, representing the 10th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Fingston Flight. Following Fingston Flight, representing the 15th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, McKinley Flight. Following McKinley Flight, representing the 16th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Roy Flight. Following Roy Flight, representing a Medal of Honor recipient, Matthews Flight. Following Matthews Flight, representing the 17th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Cody Flight. Following Cody Flight, representing the 1st Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Airy Flight. Following Airy Flight, representing the 2nd Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Harlow Flight. Following Harlow Flight, representing the 4th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Barnes Flight. Following Barnes Flight, representing the 5th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Gaylor Flight. Following Gaylor Flight, representing the 14th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Murray Flight. Following Murray Flight, representing the 1st woman in the Air Force, Blake Flight. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's Motivational Airmen's Run. Please remember, we will be conducting the next events briefing in the BMT Reception Center Auditorium at 9 a.m. You are invited to attend this briefing as well as view our historical displays of Air Force basic training. If you have attended the 7 a.m. briefing, you do not have to attend the 9 a.m.